All right, so I'm doing this video series on how to do a proper plank because I do have a lot of people who come to see me who work out on a regular basis and work out their core on a regular basis doing different stomach exercises. But when I actually test them as to what they're doing when they're doing their stomach exercises, I find a lot of them aren't actually contracting their core. Or if they are, if they actually are contracting their stomach, they're not really contracting it that hard. I kind of have a saying that stomach exercises are only as hard as you make them based on how well you're able to isolate and squeeze your stomach muscles. So this is this little video series or video is a progression of how I take people through contracting their stomach all the way to how I want them to do a plank. Okay, so when I test someone's stomach muscles, what I do is I put them into this position here with their legs up. I put my fingers inside, just inside their pelvic crest there, into this soft spot there, and then I ask them to squeeze their stomach muscles. And I want to see what happens. And typically, one of three things happens. One, they may suck in, just kind of try to make their stomach hollow like this. They may bear down, so they're just pushing their stomach out as hard as they can, almost like they're going to the bathroom. Or they'll do what they actually should do, which is actually brace and actually feel this, actually contract the stomach muscles all the way across the pelvis, not just the six pack, but in this area too. So that's a way you can test it on yourself. See, put your fingers just inside your pelvis there, just a little bit off to the side of your belly button, out here to the side. Tighten up the stomach muscles and feel if it gets tight there. Okay? If it doesn't, let me know. I can help you with that. Next step, we'll show you how to build some endurance in that position. Okay, so once I got them actually contracting their stomach in this position, I want to build some endurance and some strength into that contraction, get a lot of recruitment doing. So what I have them do is something called a push cross pull. I have them bring their knees past their hips, lift their heads up, put their palms on their knees like this. They're going to push for 5 seconds. Then they're going to cross and push for 5 seconds, and then they're going to pull for 5 seconds. And I want them to do that for 5 rounds without stopping. Your neck will get a little tired. You can rest it a little bit and keep going. And when the key is even when you pull, don't let that stomach contraction going. Just keep it going for that 5 seconds each, 5 rounds, and build up a lot of endurance and a lot of recruitment so that stomach contracts really, really hard. Okay, so after the patient has built up some endurance and some strength in their stomach muscles, I start to teach them the plank, and I like to use the ball because it helps me to demonstrate a few things important to the plank. So the first thing I want people to realize is the point that I made earlier, is that stomach exercises are only as hard as you make them based on how hard you squeeze. So if I get here and I just come into this plank position and hang out here, it's really not that hard because I'm not squeezing that hard. But if you set up the form correctly, and the key here is to actually contract your stomach before you get into the plank position. So what I tell people to do is kind of tighten their stomach, tuck the rear end under a little bit. I call that the bad dog butt, and then extend out into this position. And it's hard because I'm squeezing really hard. So that is the first step in doing the plank, is doing this knee to elbows on the ball, squeezing really hard so that you can feel your stomach contracting. Okay, once you've mastered the kneeling plank, then we'll move up into a full toes to elbows on the ball plank. So again, the key to this, I would say, is really that tuck, right? So that's why we start here on the knees, teach you the bad dog butt, really tuck. And then from there, what we're going to do is push up into this position. You have to maintain that tuck of the butt under, squeezing the glutes, keeping the stomach tight. As soon as I see this happen, then you've lost it, right? You need to maintain that little arch in your back the whole time. It's really hard. If you're doing it correctly, you'll be squeezing your muscles really hard. So give that a try. That's how the progression that I do with people to teach them how to do a plank properly. They're usually very surprised at how hard that is to do, and that they probably weren't contracting their stomach or getting very much out of their planks. So give it a try. And if you have any questions, let me know.